If you are returning to this channel, welcome back. If this is your first time, please do well to smash the subscription button and turn on the notification bell so that anytime we drop videos like this, you'll get to benefit from it. So this video is actually focused on a comeback after we had series of losses. In a couple of days, right? We had losing streak for like 3 straight days, and so our comeback is what we are going to look at right now. We have recovered up to 60% of the loss that was incurred just in a single trading day, with 2 massive wins in a single trading day. Now, this goes to show that a losing trade does not, or a losing week does not make your strategy bad. It only makes you a trader because it's part of the game, right? So you just need to build your psychology around expecting losses as you move forward. So I'm going to look at 2 trades that we took simultaneously. It was crash 900 and boom 1000. I'm not going to look at the boom 600 trade because we got stopped out at break even. So I'll just explain how the crash 900 and crash 1000. If you want to see the boom 600, please join our channel. It's on the description box so that you can get to understand that particular aspect. So I'm just going to go through our Telegram channel to be able to show you some of the things. So all right, so we had our boom. So this was our crash 900 trade. As you can see, it was a drop. All right, so this was the crash 900 trade. So when it got to TP1, and then this was the crash 900, and then this was the crash 1000. Right, you can see the crash 1000 trade as well. So I'm going to break down both of them to explain to you guys how we took that trade and how you can take advantage of the knowledge in order for you to become better at your trading journey. So I'll start by breaking down this crash 900. So this is what we did. So I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to also delete all of these things so that. So I'm going to start from the 4 hour, which is usually what we do on this channel. So on this channel, if you notice, I mostly trade from the 4 hour down and get my entry at 15 minutes. So what was happening here was we had a demand zone that we are looking at this area. Alright, you can still refine it up onto this area here. But this was our demand zone that we are expecting, a supply zone that we are expecting price to drop from. Alright, so what we are looking for was any form of reaction inside of this, because usually what we point at as our point of interest is whenever there's a high or a low taken out into a point of interest. The moment we see a reaction from that point of interest, then we begin to frame our trade idea, because what we focus most on is directional bias and not looking at the overall trend when dealing with our trade. So we don't normally consider the trend in this channel. We are mostly focused on directional bias, and we trade in alignment with the directional bias. So when we got that entry into the 4 hour, at the time of this trade, this candle was forming. So when this happened and started dropping, what we did was go to the 15-minute time frame. So when we got to the 15-minute time frame, at the time we were looking at this particular trade, this was what was forming. So what we had here was this drop, right? So this was the drop that was happening at this point. So what we discovered that happened after when the drop started was a change in state of delivery. These are a series of buy candles that took out this high, moving into the POI, alright, which is our point of interest. And so when we saw that, we saw a change in state of delivery here. So this is our change in state of delivery. Alright. So this is our change in state of delivery. And then when we started getting a retracement, we had to start looking at our fib. So when we drew our fib, it was from this high down to this particular low right now. So we were looking for an entry around the 618 and the 78.6, which is our OTE zone. And just around that area was also a 15-minute order block, and then a high, which served as an inducement for this price movement. So we were looking for price to actually take out this high into this area and then sell off. All right. So what we finally did was, because of I began to understand a couple of things that was happening throughout the week that we experienced losses. It guided me in putting my stop loss for this trade. So instead, I used my stop loss above the, so I entered at the 618 and the stop loss was above this place. It was close around this area. So price was moving higher and went almost to our stop loss, and then we started seeing a drop. So my target was this equal lows here and then this other block. So my target was for price to get all the way to this point. I think we entered not exactly at the 618 because at the time we are looking at this, we entered the midpoint. Alright, so we had a 1:2 risk to reward, and then we started seeing that drop. So when we started getting the drop, it was consistent and we got the drop down to this area of demand. So this was what we did in order to take advantage of this price movement, and that's how we got the crash 900. So I'm going to go to the crash 1000 right now to be able to explain what we saw in crash 1000. So this was crash 1000. Alright, so at the time I was looking at crash 1000, price has already dipped into this place and then moved down. So because I was late into this entry, what I did was do a little bit of analysis on the 4-hour time frame to get me a new POI, because normally our POIs are mostly other blocks like that. So instead, what I did was I saw that on the 4-hour time frame there was a change in state of delivery around this area on the 4 hour. So this was a 4-hour change in state of delivery. All right. So when that happened, usually we look for a retracement to join in the sell. So this was the retracement. So it was from this area to this area that we began to look for a valid trade idea. All right. So it was from this area to this area we were looking for a valid trade idea. So our OTE was around this area. So we began to look for trading opportunities around this area. All right. So at the time, these candles, these long candles had not formed yet. All right. So it was around this area here that we began to look for price movement. So when we went to the 15-minute time frame, what we saw now, we had a new POI as compared to the initial 4-hour POI. We had a new POI. All right. So on the 15-minute time frame, what I saw had happened was this high was swept. So I was looking at this area. So I saw that liquidity has already been taken from this area. For this particular one, it has already taken the high out and then gave me a change in state of delivery around this area. So I got a change in state of delivery for this movement around here. Remember, our point of interest was no longer the other 4-hour supply zone. It was now the OTE. So I was looking for reactions around this area. So I got a change in state of delivery around this area for the 15-minute time frame. All right, confirming that okay, price is most likely going to start going lower right now, even though it's for a short period of time, because we are not following the overall trend. We are looking at directional bias. All right, so we began to look for draw our feed from the high to this low here, and then we look for a retracement into OTE. So we got our OTE around this area, which is now the new area of entry. So on our 15 minutes time frame, we entered around this area, and then we targeted this high as our stop loss, and then a clean 1:2 setup. So we got our take profits hit on this particular trade idea. So these are the two trades that we took in order for us to recover at least 60% of our loss. You can see that in our channel. See all the trades. See at this point, you see these losses. Span of 3 days, we recovered 60% in one trading day, and with that, we got 2 good trades in the day to be able to cover up 60% of our losses. And that is why it's good for risk management, so that you don't end up losing your entire account just because you have a losing day. So I hope this helps you to become a better trader and become more profitable as you go on. So we took gold trade on currency, but I'll break that down in another different video. So if this video was helpful, do well to subscribe, like I said, turn on the notification bell if it was helpful, and share it with a friend so that they can take advantage of this knowledge and become better traders tomorrow.